All right. I hope you can hear me. I'm sequestered in the beautiful community of Nevada City at the Celestial Inn. And you are tuned in to episode number 292 of this little shindig we call Sports Talk 916. First off, the question I have for you, can you hear me?
We'll figure it out. Anyways, episode 292. You're in BFE. We already went over this.
But nobody heard it, but that's right.
Yeah, we started talking about Republic FC. We talked about the fact that they're... All right, finally. Barbomb confirmed it. We can hear you from Nevada City. All right, so Republic FC, they've been getting their balls tugged on all week. There was supposed to be an announcement on Monday. Got pulled back. News report came out. It got refuted. Carmichael Dave led some hope, said, you know what, it's going to happen. Just be ready for it. The Tower Bridge Battalion and their supporter group and all the diehards that are involved with Republic FC, I have a feeling that they're not going to go anymore. Like, they're going to stop going. Like, we're going to get MLS, and then they're just going to be like, oh, cool, congrats. Have a good time.
Right.
Like, they're getting jobbed around so much, morning Kilkenny, that no one's going to go and support this team anymore. It's getting absolutely ridiculous. Either give them the team.
Do you really think that's the case, or are they going to forget about it as soon as it'll probably be? What I can see is for the next couple of years, it'll be fuck the MLS, bullshit the MLS, and then when the first game comes around and it's all brand new and shiny and whatever, that all of them are going to be right back there.
See, the problem is, though, that Tower Bridge Battalion, they're going to be very limited on what they're allowed to do, what they're allowed to say, how they're allowed to dress, what they're allowed to bring into an MLS stadium. And I think that's where a lot of their trepidation is coming from. MLS does not bode well for supporter fan groups. Can't cover your face. Can't bring in noise. I believe you can bring in some noisemakers, but can't bring in a lot. Can't bring in their little smoke bombs. The size of their flags and all the shit that they do is limited. I don't think they're allowed on a goal line section. They have to be up in a corner somewhere. There's a lot of things that change from what they're used to now and rallying the team to what likely is going to happen. And I think that's a lot of the problem with the way the MLS is coming in is people don't want that change. Tower Bridge Battalion doesn't want that change. The common fan that goes and is blown away by TBB are not going to welcome that change per se, because it is part of the experience right now at Papa Murphy Park.
Yeah, but don't you think? I mean, so my first reaction is, if they're fans of the team, they'll make it work. If they're fans of being the TBB, then they won't make it work.
True.
So it really kind of depends on what they're, why they're there. Are they there just to be seen and be loud and make a statement, or are they there to support the team and watch the team? That's the person that comes to my mind.
Well, let me ask you this. If you don't have a healthy blend of people that are there to watch the game and make some noise, and a blend of the crazies that want to drink their beer and yell and stomp and scream and make noise and be rowdy, does the supporter section even work? Because if you're really trying to watch the game and you want to be a part of the support section, you cannot fully partake in all the chants and screams and hollers and dances and songs and whatever and still fully watch the game. There's so much going on. So don't you need a blend of both of those for a supporter section to be successful?
What does Seattle do? What does Portland do? I mean, those are the two teams in that league that have by far the rowdiest
Yeah, but I
Now,
wonder how many of those guys are there to be the rowdy, look at those guys, or how many of them are there to watch the Sounders or the Portland team, the Timbers, play.
but I guess what I'm saying is maybe the TBV just needs to just kind of tweak how they do things, because obviously there's quite a bit of I agree with you, there is that mix, and I think that they just need to kind of tweak how they do things, because obviously they've been super successful in those two cities, and yes, you still need a mix, but why can't they just tone their face paint down and their flags down and still be as rowdy? I think to me, it still goes back to, are you there just to stomp and scream and drink beer, or are you there to support your team?
I think the answer to that is yes. Like, and it's corny as hell, but I think the answer is yes. I don't think that 90%, maybe a little bit less. There's a lot of European soccer fans. Let's say 65, 70% of the fans that are in Tower Bridge Battalion are in it and got in it because it was new and it was different and it was the thing to do. And I don't think a lot of them know what their identity is, because even from early seasons to now, it's different. A midweek game used to still fill up for Tower Bridge. We went to a game during the state fair and there was maybe a third of the regular Tower Bridge. And it didn't work. I mean, it wasn't crazy. It was, a lot of the people didn't know the songs. A lot of people didn't know, a lot of the stuff. So
let me ask you this. Do you think that the Tower Bridge attracts other fans to come watch them? Or do you think that they repel that casual fan that doesn't want to be around that rowdy group?
I don't know. That's a tough one. How does, I don't know. I think we at this point just need to figure out what the hell is going to go on with MLS. Like, are they coming or not?
Right.
Because I think a lot of them are staying away because they're tired of it. They don't know what they're going to do, and I think they're just getting fed up with it. It reminds me a lot, and Barnbaum just mentioned it. It reminds me a lot of what going, unless it was a big organized group game that said, hey, you need to make sure that you're supporting the team because now is important.
Right.
And, let's figure this out. So, who knows?
Well, I think if the Tower Bridge Battalion wants to maintain their cachet is not the right word, but their influence and their presence within those games, they need to get in touch. Excuse me. They need to get in touch with somebody from Seattle and somebody from Portland and find out how they can make themselves over to be an effective part. Because I'm sure there's people that sing songs and do chants and do that shit. I mean, they do it when I watch the Premier League. You can hear that all over the place. So it can be done. They just have to figure out the way they do it. And sometimes change isn't well accepted, but is needed to take place.
Right. So we'll keep an eye on that situation. We'll figure out what the hell is going on with, what the hell is going on with MLS. We'll keep everybody afloat.
Yep.
In other news, we have a champion in Sacramento. The Sacramento Rivercats successfully defeated Columbus in the AAA championship game out of St. Louis, 4-0, 5-0. It was a great start. The Rivercats put up 3 in the first inning. Their pitcher, I can't think of his name right now, pitched a gem through 6, and went in and really, really dominated it. The announcing team was atrocious. They were terrible. They were getting names wrong, kept calling the teams by the wrong names. making reference to what the team did, but referencing the wrong team. For example,
oh, really? Was it on the radio?
No,
like
it was on Fox Sports 1.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, it was on FS1, and the announcing crew was absolutely terrible. Like, they would say something like, Avellino, who the Giants got in the Andrew McCutchen trade last season. Avellino came up in the Yankees trade, and he was part of the Yankee system, and he's been just a bright spot for Columbus all season long. And they did that multiple times. And I'm like, do you guys not have someone down there kicking someone in the ass that says, hey, you're stupid?
And I don't even think the Yankees are the Columbus farm team anymore.
No, and that's the thing. It's like they weren't even linked. They're with Cleveland. So, like, Avellino came over from the Yankees to the Giants organization, but Jesus Christ, like, get it right. You know what I mean? Like, and they did that multiple times. And it was just one of those things where it's like, it's just cringeworthy. First time, okay, you know what? You haven't seen these guys ever. We'll give you a pass. But like third, fourth inning, you're still doing it. Ridiculous. It was good to see the River Cats go out and handle business. One thing they pointed out, which I thought was going to be extremely like a really big factor in the game, and it turned out to only be a factor for Columbus, was none of these players, I mean, maybe give or take a trade or two or whatever, but none of these batters had ever seen any of the pitchers they were facing. So it was literally advantage hitter, and the River Cats just hit the, they weren't hitting the ball hard. They didn't go for home runs, but they were putting the ball in play. They were pitching to the defense. They were doing all sorts of things that they needed to do, and they won the game. There was even a hit and run, which you don't ever see in AAA. There was a bunt that Grundy pulled out in the sixth inning that you never see in AAA.
Right.
It was kind of refreshing to see that. And, they gave Dave Brundage a lot of credit for the way he's managed the team. They made a really cool point to point out that that Bochy invited Grundy up to be on his bench for the final series against the Dodgers this year.
Cool.
And then, in the middle of the game, they broke out the Mike Yastrzemski home run in Boston. The first Yastrzemski to hit a home run in 60 something years. I don't remember exactly how, but they also flubbed that. They said something wrong about that with the Giants and the Red Sox too.
Did they really?
The broadcasters were just terrible. TJ, you hit it on the head. It's almost like they were asked to announce the game last second.
Yeah.
The AAA championship was held in Memphis. The Columbus Clippers are affiliated with the Clippers. Thanks, Mike. I already covered that. Could you imagine if San Francisco did not trade NL batting leader Brian Reynolds or Aaron Judge in the outfield right now? Don't trade Kutch and draft AJ instead of Arroyo. Well, they didn't trade Aaron. Wait, what? Imagine if San Francisco did not trade. The Giants
never had Aaron Judge.
Yeah, they never had Aaron Judge. That's your boy James. You can talk to him about that one later. But anyways, River Cats, AAA champions, Pacific Coast League champions, and I hope that this starts to shut up the A's fans a little bit, because the whole thing was, it's our banner, and you made the perfect comment on this. It said A's fans act like they've been winning championships all along.
Yeah,
they haven't won one since 2008.
They haven't won the AAA. They won the AAA championship in 2007, 2008.
Right, and then they haven't won a PCL since 2012. I want to say.
Right.
But yeah, they talk about it like every single. And you said they handled it like they were the Yankees of AAA.
Yeah,
they weren't. Let it go. I don't give a shit how many championships you have. It's been a long time. Now the Giants have one in San Francisco or in Sacramento. They have two, and it's time to let that ship sail, because I am tired of it. They should have drafted Aaron Judge. No, AJ. Yeah, Aaron Judge instead of Bronson Arroyo. Well, maybe if you constructed a solid sentence, James, I'd understand what the fuck you were saying. In the A's last homestand against Kansas City, NBC Sports of California showed that Las Vegas manager Fran Ritter was in the A's dugout. Brundage being in the dugout, Bochy is not a new. Mike, I didn't say it was a new concept. They just made it a point that he was invited up there. Thought it was cool. And it happens every year. I mean, Francona was in the A's dugouts all the time when they were linked to San Francisco, linked to Oakland as well. So yeah, cool for Sacramento. Championship in the rafters or on the fence. pretty neat. Also, the Giants.
Which goes to show just how much Zaidi has done with the farm system.
Yes.
It's that team was not at the beginning of the year. Nobody expected the River Cats to even in the playoffs. And with the changes he's made in just one season, look at the guys who've come up. Here's the other thing. Look at the guys who've come up to the big leagues that could have been at the River Cats all season. So the depth in the Giants farm system has gone from pretty much empty to pretty damn good in 1 year. And
not even a year. It's pretty much half a season. I mean, he didn't really start making too many moves, but it's a credit to Zaidi, obviously, because Farhan has done a fantastic job. It is a bigger credit to Dave Brundage, to Brundy, for the way he managed his team. Do you know how many moves that the River Cats and Giants made this season?
Oh, a shit ton.
How many times, take a guess, how many times players moved up and down through Sacramento, whether it be down to AA or up to San Francisco and back and forth, back and forth?
I have no idea. So I'm pulling this out of my ass. It has to be in the 50s or 60s.
Try almost 500.
Oh, shit.
There were almost 500 transactions this season between all the AAA levels that involved Sacramento at some point somehow.
Oh, God.
So that tells you what Brundage did.
It's almost like having a brand new team every day almost.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah,
wow. Barbomb, you're close. 300 plus moves. It was absolutely insane how many moves that the Giants facilitated through Sacramento this season. And, it's just moving piece after moving piece, finding what works. And, in doing so, I believe that the Giants have found their everyday left fielder in Mike Yastrzemski.
Yeah.
They have, they got Dubon at, who could be their everyday second baseman. Or even the everyday shortstop if they find a way to move Brandon Crawford. They have some promise that they can maybe find someone to play first base. I mean, there's a lot going on that
and we have our catcher of the future that's probably going to be in Sacramento next year.
Yeah, Bart should be in Sacramento next year. And with all of that, I mean, we set one goal for the Giants this season. That was get Bruce Bochy 2,000 wins, which they did in Boston, which was really cool to see. So congrats to Bruce Bochy, the sixth manager in Major League Baseball history to hit 2,000 wins. And rumors were already swirling, just crazy amounts of rumors that Bochy's not going to stay retired and that you may see Bruce Bochy be the new manager of the San Diego Padres come next season.
I saw that this morning.
Fired their manager yesterday. So while I would hate to see Bochy on another bench, I think it would be absolutely fitting for him maybe to do a 1-year deal or 2-year deal in San Diego and finish where he started and wrap up that Hall of Fame managerial career.
Yeah.
But let's talk some football. Football obviously is at the forefront of everything. There's a lot going on. The circus is back in town.
I saw that.
Which is cool. Antonio Brown is now out of New England and out of the NFL. Antonio Brown says he will not play anymore, will not be playing in the NFL anymore. These owners can cancel deals, do whatever they want at any time. We will see if the NFL Players Association holds them accountable. Said they can just void guarantees anytime, going on $40 million in 2 months. We will see if they pay up. And then AB went off.
He did.
AB on Twitter this morning was ridiculous. He said Kraft got caught up in the parlor. AB's speculations fired. So he got caught in the parlor. AB has speculations fired for different strokes for different folks, clearly. Then he put up a screenshot from March 5th, 2010. Steelers QB investigated on sexual assault. AB, 4 games for Big Ben. Crazy world. I'm done with it. Then he put up another tweet from September 15th of that same year. Shannon Sharp accused of sexual assault. Shannon Sharp, the funny guy on TV, still after this. Then another one he tweeted, the Daily Beast said Patriots fans threatened a Sports Illustrated writer who revealed a second sexual harassment claim that led to the ousting of Antonio Brown. He says the system is working effectively. So something is wrong with Antonio Brown. The NFL,
You're just figuring this out now.
The NFL typically will release like medical reports and different, different injury reports and stuff like that during the week. Something I found to be very interesting this week, the medical report for the Steelers, the Raiders, and the Patriots all came back the same. All of them found out that their blood type is AB negative this week.
Wow.
You like that one?
Yeah.
So Antonio Brown's gone. I'm good with it. I'm tired. I'm just tired of everything with that motherfucker. Like, he just talent beyond belief. But he just couldn't put it together.
Well,
Mike's on a delay because I literally just went over everything that AB said on Twitter, and then Mike just said AB went on a Twitter rant today.
It's a sense of entitlement that he has. It's like, he feels like he got fired for nothing,
right?
And
because he didn't act like an entitled little bitch nonstop and force his way out of Oakland. Now, I don't necessarily blame him for wanting to get out of Oakland. So I guess calling him a little bitch for that is wrong because he played that perfectly.
He chose to sign there.
Yeah, but he didn't choose to get traded.
Yeah, you're right.
He didn't go there willy-nilly. He, obviously if you go somewhere, you get traded and they throw a big ass contract at you, you're not going to say no.
Right.
You're just, you're going to see if it's better than what you thought it was going to be. And it turned out obviously that it wasn't. So I will give him credit for that. And he did nothing wrong in New England. But, so many people are giving the Patriots credit for releasing Antonio Brown. I think that's ridiculous. You don't give them credit at all. If anything, you flip the coin and you look at it and go, what the fuck were you thinking signing Antonio Brown? You have a locker room culture in New England that has been clear cut from the jump. There have never been any true character issues. Yeah, there's a Deflategate. Yeah, there's Spygate. There's those things.
Are you forgetting Aaron Hernandez?
That is a one-off situation. Once they found out what was going on with him, they cut ties immediately with that.
The history of the Patriots is that's the kind of guy they signed. They signed somebody who's a malcontent.
Well, they drafted him, and he was doing everything behind the closed doors. And then when they found out, they got rid of him. There wasn't.
Well, no. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the history. I mean, they signed Randy Moss.
But Randy Moss, other than anything other than just choosing when to play or not, was never to the extent that Antonio Brown was. His time in Oakland should have given them every red flag that said he's going to destroy our locker room or he's going to be a problem. There's nothing that should have brought them in. They were just stroking their own ego by going, hey, look, we can sign Antonio Brown. They didn't need him. They didn't need him for any reason. They have Josh Gordon who's coming back. He's in the best shape of his career. He's focused on football. You don't need to bring in an Antonio Brown to give another weapon to Tom Brady and stretch that team out more. They would have been just fine.
I heard a report this morning that the Patriots were really split on whether they should sign him or not. And Tom Brady was the one that wanted it. He was the one that pushed them to sign him.
Does Tom Brady run the team?
Yeah, wanted him on the team. And Robert Kraft was against it. And I think that when they signed him, there was only the one allegation on it. There wasn't 60 now?
Is it that many now?
I don't know. There's a whole bunch. So there wasn't all of those other allegations that were out there on it. And I think what they said this morning was the thing that pushed him over the line, pushed the Patriots over the line to cut him, was a group text that he sent out to, and I think it might have been maybe to all of the people that accused him or somebody, basically saying, hey, you guys are full of shit. You're not getting anything from me. And I kind of missed that part of it, but they talked about a group chat that he sent out. And as soon as the Patriots found out that, that's when they cut it.
if
So-
there's, I'm sorry, but if there, that's just, to me, that's excuses. If there's an open investigation of a sexual assault, you don't. So giving credit to the Patriots for releasing Antonio Brown is ridiculous. They should be chastised for even signing him in the first place. There was no reason that they needed the extra attention. There's no reason that they needed the extra talent. There's no reason that they needed anything to do with Antonio Brown. And then to get credit for releasing him, to me, is asinine. I mean, plain and simple. And Josh just hit the nail on the head. No one has ever been as much of a diva other than AB. That includes Owens, Moss, and Odell. Guess AB will get another chance to be in the NFL. AB will not. I don't think AB will be back in the NFL.
There's a new league starting up. There's a new league starting up next year.
He'll be great for the XFL.
Yep.
And then him and Kaepernick could go play catch right now. So
I saw a meme or something that said it was a picture of Kaepernick and a picture of Brown, and Kaepernick saying, "Hey, you want to come play catch?"
But I do not see AB getting another shot in the NFL unless all of these claims come back to be completely erroneous, without settlement and without any type of payoffs. But then again, if he ends up suing the league for breach of contracts or whatever, like he's trying to bring the Players Association into that, they're not going to sign him. If he brings a lawsuit against the NFL, you will never see Antonio Brown in the NFL again.
Well, he mentioned the wrong person. If your thought is you want to come back and play in the NFL, there's one person you don't fuck with in the NFL. It's not Roger Goodell. It's not anybody else. You don't fuck with Kraft.
Right.
You just don't. He's got way too much power, and I mean, he's got so much power that he can get busted at a rub and tug, and not do him.
Sammy Spearman says that AB will be back in the NFL. He has teams contacting his agent right now. He's on the commissioner's exempt list. He's not yet. He will be.
That's what's going to happen.
After that Twitter rant that he went on today, is going to land him on that list.
Yep.
And yeah, teams were contacting him, but that was before he went on this tangent this morning. No team in the right mind, except for maybe the Dallas Cowboys, are going to give a run at Antonio Brown at this point. I cannot see it happening under any circumstance.
Now, that news that there were other teams pursuing him came from his agent.
Yeah, but
Drew Rosenhaus, who's
Rosenhaus,
not the most credible source in the world.
Right.
I mean, he's definitely been known to exaggerate things a little bit. So I heard that same report, but I also heard that it came from him, and that might not necessarily be the case.
Josh just said Robert Kraft came out and said that AB rubbed him the wrong way.
But I'm fine.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, either way, it's a shit show. I'm glad it's temporarily over. Hopefully football gets focused on, and we can figure out what's going on with the rest of everything. I got a recommendation for a new hosting site. A bunch of the artists in, the podcast on Yellow Jacket Media use it. We'll look into that after this broadcast is over. I'll do some research on that. Thursday Night Football was interesting. The Gardner Minshew, whatever, saga continues. That kid can play some football.
He's not bad.
He's not bad at all. Like and that mustache is killer. So
he was the sensation up in Pullman, Washington last year. Everybody was wearing mustaches and had fake mustaches at the game.
Yeah,
he was a big thing.
He really was. So that'll be, how many criminals in NFL. AB beat that case. He's back in the league. He's too talented. Okay, but beating a case and then burning every bridge possible is two different things.
Right.
I'm not.
Who said that? Who said that, Sammy?
I'm not saying that he's not talented enough to be in the league. He's still talented enough to be a top 3 wide receiver in this league. But when you go on and you're blasting everybody in the league, you're going to be at a situation where no one wants your shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, Minshew came out, looked really good. Jaguars look really good with him. If he continues to play well, they're going to be fucking pissed about the Nick Foles deal that they signed this offseason.
Yep.
Leonard Fournette needs to learn how to run the ball again. That was pretty bad. Negative,
At least
like
he
9
can
yards.
catch the ball.
Yeah, for sure. But I think myself and only one other person had Jacksonville Thursday night for that game. Yeah, myself and Tom Morgan. Everyone else ran Tennessee through the ringer.
Yeah.
So poo-poo on you. But good game. Couple games this week that stand out. But the big one is injuries. There was a lot of injuries that happened last week after we went off the air. Big Ben done for the year. Elbow. Looks like he's going to have Tommy John. Drew Brees, 6 weeks. He's done. I mean, just a lot of big. I mean, those are the two biggest ones. But,
right,
a lot of guys dropping like flies. So it's going to change the landscape a lot. For him, it's twofold. It's the criminal aspect to go along with the head basket. That's what's going on with him. Yeah, Josh, he's not in a good place. And talk about Antonio Brown again. And, as a human being, I hope he figures it out. But I don't think that coming back to the NFL and having the spotlight on him is going to be the best way for him to figure that out. He's going to need something else.
Going back to that, I saw a couple of people, and it was on Twitter, and I think they thought it was a joke. But I'm kind of starting to think that it might not be, and that's that hit that he took in the playoff game. It was a playoff game against Cincinnati.
Was it Burfict's hit?
Yeah. When Burfict just laid him out.
That's when the problems with him seemingly started.
Yeah, so maybe there's some synapses in that brain that got rearranged the wrong way.
And if that's the case, and hopefully they figure it out, because he does have a family. He does have a lot going on, and hopefully he fixes it. So yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. So the Raiders last week started off looking good. Defense came out, slowed down Patrick Mahomes. First quarter, it was a totally different game. And part of me was like, damn, Raiders are figured things out. They might be able to pull this off. And then Patrick Mahomes realized that the game started at the second quarter and put up full game numbers in the second quarter alone and just blew the Raiders out of the water. I don't think that's a sign of things that come for Oakland. I think that they still have a very good shot at being a very decent football team this season. I think losing Antonio Brown really helped them. Josh Jacobs is questionable today, so that's going to be a big question mark for them going into the game at Minnesota. So have to wait and see on that. But Raider fans definitely don't need to be too concerned. I mean, Matt are playing Madden on rookie mode at this point. There's nothing that is going to slow down that Chiefs team minus an injury. So Raider fans, hold your head up high. The 49ers went into Cincinnati and just laid an ass whooping of the century. Garoppolo looked good. The running game, I mean, this three-headed beast of undrafted running backs is turning out to be something ridiculous in San Francisco. The wide receiver core looks good. Deebo Samuel every single week is showing me that this kid is going to be a very good wide receiver for the 49ers. And he's going to have to be, because it's looking like Jalen Hurd's going to be back after the bye, but Trent Taylor went on IR. So no Trent Taylor. He says the bone in his foot's good, but the rest of his foot's just not cooperating. He's not going to be able to play. So we have to wait and see with that. But Hurd coming in is going to be another bright spot for the far without George Kittle. George Kittle has been absent. But the fact that Garoppolo now is able to move the ball around, every time someone double teams George Kittle, that team is getting burned.
Right.
So as long as Garoppolo stays consistent and gets the ball to Goodwin and to Debo and to Pettis hasn't done really anything, but to get them all out of the backfield, they're gonna have to loosen up on Kittle. And once Kittle's in 1-on-1, it's gonna be lights out. This 49ers offense is gonna open up even more. The defense is looking super solid. A lot of people.
The key is going to be the health of the offensive line.
Yeah, Staley
because
going
that
down
offensive
big.
line has been dropping like flies.
Well, they only have one real big injury, and that was Joe Staley.
Two. I thought they had somebody else that got hurt.
No, it wasn't major like Staley. I think he's already back, or he's going to be back, in a week or so. The defense is looking good. D Ford's having problems with his knee still. That's a big concern. But the secondary, I talked about Ahkello Witherspoon week 1, how I feel like I read his quote saying that he feels like he finally has to earn his job and keep his job. And it's clear that he's taking that to heart, because Ahkello Witherspoon right now is like on pace for, most improved player of the decade. He's playing out of his absolute mind right now, and I absolutely love seeing it. The defense, Fred Warner is a godsend. He has been the absolute diamond in the rough for the 49ers. Lot of promise on the defensive side, but 49er fans need to pace themselves because they're already penciling in a W today. You got to be careful. Today is a trap game if there's ever been one for the 49ers. Yeah. Steelers are coming off losing Big Ben. They're 0-2. If they don't win today, they're basically out of the playoffs. You cannot overlook a rookie quarterback starting his first game. It's cliche as hell, but if you go back to Big Ben in his rookie year when he came in and took over, it was after a week 2 elbow injury to a starting quarterback. He came in, threw for 3 touchdowns and 200-something yards. I can't think of the kid's name. That's the rookie starter now. He did the exact same thing, almost to the number that he did for coming in for Roethlisberger with an elbow injury. I know things always work out weird, but you got to be careful because the Steelers went on a tear that year with Big Ben. And you got to make sure that doesn't happen here because this is definitely a trap game.
Yeah, and this is the heir apparent to Ben once Ben's done, which I'm a little worried that Roethlisberger could be done because Tommy John surgery, in pitchers and baseball players, they say a year. Nobody's come back from Tommy John surgery as a football player in less than 16 months. So I've heard that not only is it going to be the rest of this year, but there's a good chance it could be the rest of next year too, or a long majority of next year. And so if that's the case, we could be seeing the next version of the Steelers today.
Well, Big Ben's already said he's coming back. Yeah, I guess it's not going to be Tommy John. It's just an elbow injury. Is it coming back? He wanted to retire a couple years ago. Big Ben already came out publicly and said when he's going to play out the rest of his contract. He's not done.
Yeah, but let me throw something.
He could be done in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Because I was just going to say is what happens if this guy comes out today and becomes Patrick Mahomes Part 2? Are they going to bench Ben because of this guy?
No,
I doubt it.
No.
So, I think it all depends on how well this guy plays. And if he will, it could be the end of Ben in definitely in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be one of those things this year where we really week by week with the 49ers. You got to be careful. You can't get the cart in front of the horse. They are playing really good. But we got to wait and see. So definitely don't go crazy on it because man, it's going to be interesting.
Right.
It's going to be fun. Shanahan finally has that offense opened up and I'm digging it for sure.
He has the players to be able to open it up with.
Yeah, for sure, without a doubt. See here, 1 second. Let's do our picks.
Okay.
We don't have the sound because you're Shit's broken.
Not my shit. Hey.
Yeah, we're blaming yours. No, you know what? No, Be Live shit's broken. Fuck you, Be Live.
Yeah.
I had Jacksonville. You had Tennessee. The next game up is Atlanta goes to Indianapolis.
I have your Atlanta Falcons.
So do I. Detroit goes to Philly.
I have Philly.
So do I. Fun fact, Miami goes to Dallas. We talked about this a little bit before we started the show. Dallas is going to put up a 65-70 spot today in Miami.
Absolutely.
Here's a fun fact, though. Antonio Cromartie has more children, 14, than the Miami Dolphins have points this year, 10. Book it. I have Dallas as well. I have Oakland taking Minnesota in Minnesota.
I do too.
Buffalo hosts Cincinnati.
I got Buffalo.
So do I. New England hosts the Jets.
Yeah.
Green Bay hosts Denver.
Green Bay.
Same. Baltimore, Kansas City.
Kansas City.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to take Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens.
Ooh.
Upset of the week. I just changed it.
At Kansas City?
At Kansas City. Just changed it right now on the spot. I'm going Lamar Jackson.
Just because we have so many games
No,
the same?
just because I feel like Lamar Jackson is going to prove that he can sling it with the best of them today.
Weather's pretty nasty in Kansas City today.
Exactly, and I think Baltimore with Mark Ingram, I think, has a slight edge over LaShawn McCoy because their starter, Williams, is banged up. He's questionable.
Right.
So if it goes to a running game, I'm taking Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram over Patrick Mahomes, who I don't think they want running too much in bad weather, or LaShawn McCoy. So I'm taking Baltimore. Carolina goes to Arizona. I haven't seen if Cam's playing or not yet, but Cam has been terrible. He's probably better off not playing.
He's not playing.
I'm taking little Kyler Murray to get his first win of his career.
You know, I have Carolina right now, but I reserve the right to change that because I now that Cam's not playing, actually, I think I am going to change it. I just changed it. So I have Arizona.
Cool. Giants go to the Buccaneers.
I have the Buccaneers.
David Jones making his first career start. Eli Manning was benched. I'm taking the New York Giants. Saints with Teddy Two Gloves travels to Seattle.
I think Seattle wins big.
I had New Orleans for some reason clicked, but I'm definitely taking Seattle. Houston travels to the LA Chargers. This is a tough one.
I'm taking Houston because I think the Chargers are pretty banged up, especially defensively. So I think that the Houston offense is going to.
Pittsburgh, we talked about this being a trap game for San Francisco, travels to Levi Stadium. They're retiring Terrell Owens today. They're putting him in the Eddie DeBartolo Senior Ring of Honor.
Oh, really?
Yep. So, and for the first time in a long time, they announced early that Levi Stadium is sold out. Richard Sherman called the fans out this week and said, look, we need you guys to be loud. Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator, went on Twitter and in one of his press conferences and basically told the 49er faithful, he said, look, if you guys don't start showing up and making noise, we're not going to even practice with noise because it doesn't get loud enough at Levi Stadium. Part of your job as a fan is to get in there and bring the ruckus. So hopefully 49er fans are going to come in full force today. I'm going to ride the train. I'm taking San Francisco.
I am too.
The Rams go to the Browns.
I have the Rams big.
I'm going to take Cleveland in a bounce back game. I think the Rams are a little bit overrated this season. They're not as good as people think. And I think Cleveland, I think Odell Beckham has a big game. And I think Baker Mayfield finally comes out of his shell a little bit this week.
I think the Rams defense is going to dominate.
We'll see. And that's the Sunday night game. And the Monday night game, the Chicago Bears travel to Washington to take on the Redskins.
The Bears.
I'm taking the Bears as well. So I'm looking at something here. So CBS Sports, they list like ticket prices available for the games.
Uh-huh.
And let's see, what's the most expensive? So 159 is the most expensive starting price for a game. That's the Jets at the Patriots. Green Bay has them at 124. Oh my God, I didn't see this one. 117 in Seattle, 89 in San Francisco.
Wow.
91 in Philly. And then there's like 79, 85, and then the lower end of the spectrum. In Jacksonville, in Indianapolis today, you can get one for 26.
Wow.
Washington Monday Night Football. If you can make it out to Washington, you could get a ticket for $23.44.
Oh shit!
And if you're in Arizona and you want to go see the Cam Newton-less Panthers versus the little guy Kyler Murray Cardinals, tickets starting at just $14.
Holy cow!
You could probably fly to Arizona on a Southwest wanna getaway probably for $59.
Yeah.
So multiply that. So $120 plus fees plus a ticket, $160 with beer. You're home back from Arizona after watching a football game.
And what's it cost to get into a Patriots game?
$159. So about the same price it would take you to get to a Patriots game. You can fly to Arizona, watch a game, fly home.
That's funny.
Anything else you want? We wrap it up.
No, we don't talk much college football. So there was the quarterback that took over for your mustache boy.
Yep.
Threw 9 touchdowns last night and lost.
9 and lost?
Yep.
Wow.
UCLA was down at 35 at halftime and came back and won. It was like 67-64. Not in overtime.
Damn. Okay, hold on. I got to go back to the Antonio Brown thing because that's super impressive. But this just came across Twitter, or I'm sorry, this is on Instagram. Remember, I said that Antonio Brown called out Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp clapped back, and Shannon Sharp clapped back hard and won.
I can imagine.
So if you've seen what's going on in the news right now, and the memes right now around the world on social media are all about Tinashe 6ix9ine or whatever the rapper's name is, that's basically ratting out every drug and gang cartel member that he's ever been involved with to like lessen his sentence in prison. Like basically he's putting a bullet on his, in his head without even doing anything.
I don't even know who that is. So.
Well, basically, it's just a rapper who got in trouble, and now he's ratting on everybody to lessen his jail sentence.
Okay.
Shannon Sharp, and I just shared it on the Sports Talk Facebook page. Shannon Sharp photoshopped a picture of 6ix9ine, who has like rainbow colored hair and tattoos all over his face and rainbow colored teeth when he wears his grills and all that other stuff. He's like a doodle bear. Like you take Post Malone and like it's worse than that in a way. But Shannon Sharp just photoshopped Antonio Brown with all the tattoos and everything. And it says Clowntonio 6ix9ine out here dry snitching on everybody. It's rough.
It's going to be, I never watched the Shannon Sharp Skip Bayless show on CBS.
It might be time to with AB calling out.
It might be time to set that for the DVR tomorrow and watch the first half hour of it.
Without a doubt. So yeah, 9 touchdowns and loss. I didn't see how Sac State did this week. I kind of missed it.
They lost by they lost by 14, 34-20, but they tied it in the fourth quarter at 20-20. And then lost to Fresno State, which is a bowl, which is a higher division. So they've done pretty well against the Division I.
Yeah, they did great against Arizona State. They did great now against Fresno State. So props to the Folsom High football staff who's out there coaching at Sac State. They're doing a great job. With that being said, we will look into this new program for hosting. Next week there won't be a show. I'm going to be in Lake Tahoe dying. I
thought that was Saturday. You're not going to be back on Sunday?
No, we're not coming back till Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
So no show next week, and then we have to figure out how things are going to work for going forward because I start working Sunday mornings the following weekend. We may shift back to a Sunday evening show. I'll put out something on Facebook and see how people feel about that. But we feel that Sunday evenings will be the best way to keep our programming consistent. Especially since we both now will be working Monday mornings. There's no need for either one of us to be out doing much on a Sunday night, so we should be home able to take care of these.
Yep.
So we'll keep you guys updated on that. Hopefully I don't die. Like I said, the forecast right now is 33 degrees and snow. Have about 13 miles and 30 obstacles to handle in that condition. So we'll see how that goes. But football started. It's time to go. I'm going to be out and about watching it today. If you're in the Folsom area, we'll be at Out of Bounds this afternoon. We're also going to be at the Gold River Distillery doing some whiskey tasting and whatnot this afternoon as well. If you're out and about, look out for us, or for me at least. I'll be out there, and
I'll be driving home from Nevada City. Woohoo!
And we'll see you guys next week.